Bishop Ellis, we once again thank you for opening your doors. We are grateful to you that you would open your doors to the poor, to the powerful, and to the famous. Give Bishop Ellis a big hand. To Sylvia and Savette, Diane Laverne, and to his wife of nearly 50 years, Marie. We pray that you all will be comforted by those who are here to show their love. You know, I was interviewed earlier today by Mildred Gaddis, and she asked me what Emanuel meant to Detroit, or what he meant in general to folks. And you know, after I finished the interview, I recognized that I didn't say one thing about boxing. I didn't say that he had trained world champions such as Hilmer Kente, Thomas Hearns, Milton McCrory, Evander Holyfield, Lennox Lewis, and the Klitschko brothers, all world champions. Didn't mention that. And perhaps it's because he meant so much more to our city than just a boxing trainer. You know, around the world, he's known as perhaps arguably the best boxing trainer in the world. Brother Lampley, I'm sure he'll agree. But in Detroit, he's also known as a man who uplifted the black men who needed him here in the city. In the mid to late 70s, during the height of the gang warfare here in Detroit, Tommy Hearns over on the east side could have been with the BKs or the Earl Flynn's. Many of the others could have been street gang members, but instead, Emanuel gathered 12 disciples in the basement of the Kronk Gym and changed the world. He changed the world by uplifting and giving hope to our young black men. He changed the world by enabling our young black men to feed their families, to house their naked, to be able to set an example and give hope to the downtrodden. That was what he really meant to all of us. Lastly, a little more than a decade ago, my manager, George Murphy, who's here with us, he asked me if I would go to Emanuel's house with him and discuss with him how we could work together, because he knew I had a heart for young black men as well, as Emanuel did. And he and I discussed and talked about what we'd be able to do. And then later, Prentice Bird brought him to my home, and we continued to make plans, and ultimately it became a foundation which aimed to start another Kronk Gym. Because unfortunately, for some reason, our previous mayor allowed the legendary gym to be closed. And so, I'm not scared, y'all know that. And so we began to plan, and part of that planning was making sure we address the plight of young black males and their families in a holistic way, not just training them to box. And so those plans were made. Both Mayor Lawrence, as you say, he was a friend, and we discussed having a gym in Southfield, and we're going to ask that you continue that commitment. Then we also talked about plans for Detroit. And we know that Detroit is cash strapped, but Mayor Bing, we have one of the biggest centers in Detroit is named after a side of town. It's called the Northwest Activity Center. And I don't think it cost a dime to change that name to Emanuel Stewards Community Center. Doesn't cost a dime. So as he was making plans for us and our children and our grandchildren, let us make some plans for him. God bless you all. We love you. Thank you all for your sacrifice and contribution.